So hey guys, and welcome to another video from the Parrot Bros. Today we're doing something that's been bugging me for ages, and that is cleaning my inner arches. What I'm actually going to be doing is cleaning them, detarring them, treating the rust, and I will be painting them because I want them all black, similar to my suspension components and my subframe, and pretty much everything else is bolted to the car. So what we're going to do is we'll go through all the steps of what you need to do, and how I do it. Obviously it's entirely up to you. You don't really need a great deal of tools wise. So before we get stuck into it, let's jump into the intro. Okay, so first things first, I'll get the camera mounted up. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be giving it a good clean. Now what I'll do first is I'll remove this splash guard, which is just a Torx 25, unless you've got any fancy screws in it that's picked up along the way. What I normally do is put my spacer nearby, and I'll just put them all in there on the floor so they don't go walking. You might have to hunt around for a few of them because they do put them in funny places. There is quite a few Torx screws to get. If you have a good look around, you'll find them eventually. There's normally, the one that always gets me is there's one just up here. It is a bit fiddly to get to, and it's quite hard to see if you don't know it's there. So, and from memory, I don't think I can get it on my gun. So they're never super tight anyway, because obviously it's only into a little plastic dowel, so you can normally do it by hand with a bit. Cool. So unless I have forgot one, which I have on the bottom, that is it. And then you just literally pull the bottom away at the back, push it backwards, and it will drop down and come away. Then you can put that somewhere safe out the way. I just need to go and get a bit because I've got one 8mm screw in one. Before me decided to leave them loose, and they are half missing. So just whip this out quick. And there is also a couple underneath the splash guard, which is just off camera, and which faces downwards. But if you know where they are, they're easy enough to get to. And there's that. So that piece comes off first, put that somewhere safe, out the way. Splash guard, drop it down, lift it away. Again, put it somewhere it can't blow away. So we are left with this beautiful mess. So we've got, you can see all the black spots like these. That's all tar, so we'll get rid of all of that. Now if you don't want to paint it and you just want to sort of clean it and detar it and put some wax on it or something like that, just to keep it nice, I mean, that would be great. We'll show you those steps, but also I'm going to go one extra step because I've got all this beautiful patina that I want to get rid of. Some of it's flaky, most of it's all pretty solid. It's just had a real salty life. So we're just going to clean all around here. We'll do a deep clean, and I will show you what you need. So I will come back to you with all the cleaning stuff. Okay, so we're ready to start cleaning. Now what I use is a product called G101, which is by Autosmart, and it's basically just a degreaser that you can mix with water depending on how neat you want it. Now it is very strong and it will remove pretty much anything. It's not really advisable to use on your bodywork because it's just like TFR. But all we'll do is on the underside, we'll just give it a good soak in. Try not to spray any plugs directly, but all the plugs obviously under here are waterproof for your pad wear sensor if you've got one, and things like that. So it's not too bad. Try not to spray into the engine because at the front here, there's your headlight. So just sort of spray around and just get a good coating. I mean, you can already see. Can you already see? That is the question. You can well, good me saying it, but yeah. So if you spray here, you can already see the brown running off. So it works. It is very good stuff. And we'll just leave that to dwell for a couple of minutes, Now what I use, which most of you will probably laugh at, is go into your kitchen and grab one of these, and if you don't have one, go to somewhere like Wilkinson's or Tesco's or whatever. They're £1. And to be honest, for things like this, they are ideal because you can get a good reach on it. It's reasonably harsh for getting sort of some of the dirt off, but it won't actually do a lot of the way of scratching, which is what you want. So that is a great little tool. Obviously I've got detailers, brushes, wheel brushes, all sorts of wheel woolies and all that great stuff, but just for getting grime off, my £1 scrubber is probably my favourite for underside. And all we'll do is wait for that to dwell a little bit, spray a bit on here, and then just give it a good scrubbing all over. I'll try and get a bit of a close-up for you so you can see what it does. You don't have to leave it long because this stuff is very good. So you can probably see that. So just a little bit of spray on here, and just like anything, see that? Look, it's disgusting. You might need to go over it a couple of times before we go to the next step. Try and get all the crevices. I normally do sort of half and then give it a good spray down because it goes everywhere. Well, now what I like to use a hose only for the simple reason that I find a jet wash may be a bit too powerful, and it might penetrate some of the grommets and some of that sort of stuff. At least with a hose, you can just put it on a little bit like this, and then you can always squeeze it so you get less flow, and it just means you're less likely to A, get drenched yourself, and B, put water somewhere you don't want it. So I'm just going to move the camera back because I'm spraying everything. That already looks so much better, so I'm just going to repeat the process this side again. Just a bit more magic here. Right, once you're happy you've got the worst of the dirt off, because at the end of the day there's no point wasting the product if you're not, we will move on to my second Autosmart product, which is in one of the Slim's double trigger bottles, because they spray on the way in and on the way out, so you get real nice coverage. And basically what we're going to do is we are going to spray everywhere where there's tar, and it will remove all of those spots you saw at the beginning. I'll just show you now what that's like, because it is a lot better and you can see the tar a lot more. So you see all that tar, let's zoom in a little bit. So it will get rid of all of this, all these black spots. They'll all come off, and they'll come off relatively easy actually, because the tar spray is actually very, very good. It's probably the best one I've ever used. You buy 5 litres for sort of 30 or 40 quid and it lasts you a few years, and it saves clean because it's pretty good. So just again, try not to spray anything you don't need to, and just all you do is spray that on, let it dwell, and then I'll show you what it does in about 2 or 3 minutes time. So now that tar's had a bit of time to sort of soften up with that spray, what we'll do is, if you notice, I don't know if you can see very well on the video, but it starts to run. You see like it running away. So if we get, say for instance this bit here, you just wipe it and it just vanishes. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see a bit more progress. But you just gently wipe over it and 90% of it goes first time, and then all you got to do is, if for the bigger bits, just go a second time on any little bits you've missed, and it'll all just come away. I mean, look at that. And then all you're left with is a bit of tar on the cloth. You can use anything. You could use a cloth, you can use a brush. I just prefer to use a cloth because it's relatively easy to focus on little spots and big spots. And you'd be surprised how much is up the top. Just put it away again. So yeah, there is tar everywhere, but I mean, you'd be surprised where it goes. There's loads on this front bit here. There's loads up in the turret top. So with a cloth, it's a little bit easier to get your hand up there. I mean, look at that. And we've already cleaned all the dirt, so that is literally just tar and other things that are sort of for Quentin its way. I mean, look at that, that's minging. Yeah, I mean, already I'd say 80 to 90% of it's gone. It's just a few little bits hanging on, so I always go with it twice anyway, just to, because there might be a few bits you miss and areas you miss anyway from wiping. But yeah, it just softens it up so easy. You could just wipe it off. Saves claying and all that good stuff. So just another coat. Wait another couple of minutes and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so that is it all clean and done. If you would just come in for the cleaning process, then that is us complete. You may want to put some sort of heavy duty wax or some sort of guard coating on of some description, just to keep it nice and fresh. But yeah, that is night and day better than what it was before. So that is us done, if that's all you're doing is cleaning, and maybe get some wax or something. Now if you're looking to do some coatings like I am and sort of get it a bit more uniform, because it's either rusty or dirty or whatever, that is what we're going to be doing now. You can use, there's a load of different products. You can buy stone chips, you can buy armor guards, you can buy paints, you can buy wax oils. I'm going to use the same Hammerite direct to rust metal paint which I've used on all of my underarms, all my subframes, everything I've done on the car, and I absolutely love this stuff. I think it goes on great, it looks great. So that is what I'm going to do. Now I'll show you a little clip of me doing it as I'm doing it, but I'm not going to make you sit and watch me paint the whole thing because it takes quite a while. But we'll start over here. I'll do a little bit and you can just sort of see on how it goes. I'll do a little patch, but what I normally recommend is starting at the top, because otherwise you end up, when you're trying to get into bits, you end up touching it. But you can already see, look, that's lovely. It gets a nice coverage. It goes on well. It's got quite a nice sort of flickery finish to it. Most of it's going to be covered by the shield anyway, but it's just for protection and to make it a bit more uniform, because obviously it's half rust, half scratches, half paint flaking, some blue, some not. I'm pretty much going to paint anything blue in sight, just to get it all covered. But yeah, you can see that's going on lovely. It's going to take me probably 20-25 minutes to get most of it done. I've already done the other side, so I've had a bit of practice. But yeah, I will come back to you once it's all done, give you a sort of little look around. You tell me what you think. So the painting is now complete. That is me done. I've only done the one coat, and with that stuff, as long as you get used to using it, you can pretty much get away with one coat. I mean, look at that. That is, it's like a different car. If I pull back, you wouldn't believe that it was on the same car. See, look, there you go. Still blue. Still rusty on the arch there. We'll get that painted at some point. But yeah, I've done right down where I can see. I've laid down and done up there, all up there, and all of this lovely stuff there. So yeah, that is painting the arches. Now, couple of little tips. Take your time. If you're going for sort of a concourse finish, I would just get some masking tape and wrap around these. I've only used a 1/2 inch and an inch brush, so quite a small brush, and I've taken my time, so I haven't got to worry too much about painting things, and I've managed to not get paint on pretty much anything. But it is one of those practice makes perfect scenarios. But that is a nice finish. Let me know what you think. I'll try and get a better view. See, there you go, look, the sun doesn't help, but it does look gorgeous. What I'll do is I'll leave it to dry for an hour or two, and then I will, providing it's fully dry, I will check it all, make sure there's not any bits that have come through that may need going over again, and if it doesn't, I'll leave it till tomorrow before putting the inner arch back on. You can put it back on, but I would wait a few hours just to let the paint go off. I'm normally going to wait 24 just to make sure that it's 100% gone off. And that, there you have it. I'm just going to move on to the back now, but I won't bore you with exactly the same process. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you've done. Jump into the messages. If you've used any different products, again, like always, the community loves it. If you comment, put what you've used and let everyone else know. Thanks for watching, guys. That's another video from the Parrot Bros. Bye for now.